Welcome back. So in this lecture, we will talk about what is the right approach to start the process of getting the customer feedback. Very simply put, there are three rules that I'm going to talk about in how you approach this task. Rule number one, always approach your sales manager first. You should go talk to the sales manager first. The moment you're ready to say to yourself, you're saying to yourself that, okay, well, I've got everything that I need to go talk to the customer. Everything that I need means I know what questions I want to ask, what kind of investigation that I want to do. Your first thing is you're not going to call the customer directly. Instead, you're going to go talk to your sales manager. Why? Number one is your sales manager has the best relationship that the company can ever have with the customer. Salespeople, at least the salespeople that I know in this technology business, they are some of the hardest working and the smartest working people. And good salespeople always focus on building relationships, because that is what they consider important to get through the doors of customers and win their hearts and minds. And so salespeople are always looking for ways to go back to the customer with some good news or something new and something to make the customer happy or inquisitive, or keep them in their radar screen all the time. And so number one is you want to approach your sales manager and talk to him or her, and then make sure that you both are in sync, and let the sales manager directly talk to the customer, talk to your salesperson, get her or him in line with your kind of thinking, listen to them, listen to your salesperson and say how they want to approach this, and make them part of this exercise. Salespeople generally tend to be quite passionate people, and they also tend to be very protective of their customers. And some of the junior or very early or young product managers, when they listen to this kind of advice, they may think, well, a customer is a company's customer. Why should a salesperson own this customer information? And why should I go to the salesperson? It's my product. It's product manager. I'm the product manager. Is salesperson coming to me? That's really not the attitude you want to have. What you want to have is you want to always work with the salespeople and make sure that you buy their hearts and minds also. Remember, as a product manager, winning your customer is one of the big activities you have to do, right? Well, to win the customer, first of all, you have to win your salesperson, your own salesperson first. And you have to wow them, and you have to get them so jazzed up about this greatest product that you're going to come up with that, it's just, can't wait to, in fact, salespeople should start selling it now. So anyway, that's the whole point of getting them excited, talking to salespeople. And second is, rule number two is, you always want to talk with the product people on the customer side, meaning engineering people, product marketing people, product management people. What you don't want to do at this early stage is you do not want to talk with the purchasing managers in the customer side and the sales people on your customer side. Because that comes only after the product is ready to be sold. And so rule number two is always make sure that your sales manager sets up the meetings with the engineers or product marketing people from the customer side. And then the third and the last rule is this. Okay, you got the meeting and you go. Either it's a phone meeting, teleconference, in-person, email, or a net meeting, whatever it is, you are in the meeting with the customer. Rule number three is listen and make extensive notes. And the reason I stress this is you're not there to sell your product. You're there to listen to the customer And regardless of what they tell you, whether they diss your product or whether they say, well, it's kind of sort of not exactly what I think, well, everything is information at that moment. So you want to not only rely on your memory. It's a very bad habit, and I've seen some younger well, I've not seen too many of these lately, but I've seen some younger product managers or younger professionals who think they just walk into a meeting and then without any notes or anything, and sometimes even think that writing notes is kind of like a college boy attitude, but it is so not the proper attitude not to take the notes. You want to be taking notes, and very extensively, and even sometimes you may want to ask the customer to stop what he's talking about until you finish making the notes. Making notes is one of the most important, compellingly important qualities that you must develop as any professional, whether it's in technology or anything. You're in a meeting with another fellow professional, you better make sure you write down what is being told to you, what you're hearing, what you're listening, and so forth. So, and then, like I said, you're not selling anything, and at the same time, you're not committing to anything. If you show the prototype or if you talk to them about the new product, and if customer comes back and say, well, okay, I like it, but I am willing to use this or buy this only if you come back to me with a whatever pricing, lower pricing or whatever. Don't make any commitments. Don't talk about pricing. This is not the time. And in any case, when customer is involved with the salesperson next to you, marketing people should never talk about pricing. It should be left to the salespeople. That is the proper way the professional functions are divvied up. That's a manageable process. And so coming back to the rule, all three rules. Number one is talk to your salesperson. Number two is make sure the meeting is set up with the product people on the customer side. And then rule number three is listen and make notes and try not to make any sales in that meeting. And regardless of what the tone and attitude of the customer is, everything that they tell you is something that you're going to take back, and you're going to synthesize that information. You may disagree, and it is very well possible that whatever customer says may not be true or may not hold water on thorough examination. But anyway, the fact that customer has opened up their mouth and then talked about your product prototype is something very important, and you should consider this to be one of the key activities as a product manager. And so like I said, when you come back, by the time you finish all this, and if your experience is anywhere close to what I've described as my experience is, some of the key information pieces that you will come back with is you will know a lot more about two important aspects, which I have not covered, but now I will cover in the next lectures. Two important aspects. You will obviously know a lot about your product, prototype stage, which direction and so forth. And second is you will know a lot about customers' schedule. If there is a time to market aspect to your market, which I think it applies to pretty much every market these days, you will understand customer schedule. You will understand, also you will understand customer's roadmap. And so you will walk away with an understanding of when is the right time for you to put your product into the customer's hands. Remember, this will go back. You will take this back and you will work with engineering people, and you come up with the product schedule, and then that gets put on your NPRB presentation, right? And then the second thing is you will know a lot about your competition. Yes, your customer is not going to talk about the competitive supplier that much, but if you engage them in an indirect way, talk about the product features and such, you can get a sense of where they think their problem is not solved even by the competition. if somebody says, if the customer says, well, even those suppliers are not really meeting our standards or solving this problem in this way, or now you, Mr. Product Manager, you are here talking to me and you want me to tell you what I think about your product. Well, I will tell you this: if you solve XYZ problem that I have, which other vendors don't seem to care too much about, then I think you're in business and I think I'm going to take your product seriously. So conversations like this can go in different directions, but in either case, I think you will get a lot of qualitative, subjective understanding of competition and competitive landscape. So what I want to do in the next lecture is I want to talk about this marketing plan, which is related to customer schedule, and in general, it's a little bit more than that, and also understanding competition. Obviously, you need both to fill up your business case justification. And so we'll come back and we'll talk about the marketing plan and then understanding your competition. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video.